De Ligt, Maguire and Martinez, Mazraoui, Ugarte, Menu and Dalot, Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandes and Rasmus Højlund. The whistle goes, the match begins. The BBC World Service join us here at Anfield as well. And here we are for the latest edition, the 216th meeting in all competitions between Liverpool and Manchester United. This is and long has been the great fixture of English football. Liverpool conceding a free kick, McAllister in on Ugarte, who is on the ground, so it's a free kick. Just down here in front of where Arne Slot and Ruben Amorim are pacing around. Ruben Amorim's first experience of Liverpool against Manchester United in his 12th match in charge, and coming into it in dreadful form, his team having lost their last 4 matches and not scored in the last 3. Kobbie Mainoo dives into the challenge with Alexander-Arnold, and in fact Kobbie Mainoo seems to have come off worst in that. It was fired forward, Alisson was able to clear it away, Konate gets his first touch, Van Dijk, and then Michael Oliver stops play so that Mainoo can receive some treatment. Now he really tanked in on that challenge.
He
on
did. It looked as
Alexander-Arnold.
if he was the one that would have created the foul in the first place, but he hasn't budged, has he? He's hardly moved. Now finally he's going. We're going to see another little angle on it. It's a kick in the head as he went through. He'll be fine. That sounds a little bit dismissive, but it's a kind of, he's been clunked in the head a wee bit. It doesn't look that awful.
Yeah, it was a sort of glancing blow as Alexander-Arnold hurdled him and caught him with the sort of flat part of the top of his boot, and just on the side of the head. Obviously it's a concern, it's a head injury, therefore we have to have the protocol, the established protocol. Let me tell you, it has finished Motherwell 2, Aberdeen 0. Another defeat for Aberdeen. They've really fallen off, haven't they?
Yeah, they had a great start to the season, but it was always going to be difficult for them to keep that up, and it's beginning to slide. Yeah,
that was the 2:30 kick-off. Early, if you haven't heard, it finished a really exciting match. Hibs 3, Rangers 3, an Igamane hat-trick. And St Johnstone have just got a goal back, the bottom team against Dundee. St Johnstone 1, Dundee 3. Still Celtic 3, St Mirren 0. Just while I've been running through those scores, Mainoo has received his treatment. He's been led off the field on the far side, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be waved back on.
Yeah, he'll be fine. It's just one of those ones that if someone kicked you in the head 30 seconds into a game in a freezing cold day like this, you'd probably not feel that great, but he'll recover fine.
And it is cold, and that is what they've warned us, haven't they? I don't know how many warnings received over the course of the last couple of days, but they did warn about freezing rain, and it feels like that. Liverpool on this 23-match unbeaten run in all competitions, just the one defeat this season, just the one defeat under Arne Slot, and don't forget they won handsomely as Mainoo comes back onto the field. He was waved back on and he was sprinting straight over and won the ball back from Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool could be caught cold here. Højlund takes it down the left hand side, but Liverpool have been able to get the numbers back, and Anfield absolutely furious that Mainoo was allowed to come back on and catch Alexander-Arnold in the way that he did. Mainoo then back to Dalot, and then it comes back centrally for Manchester United, who are in their all-white kit today. They're almost blending into all of the snow that's piled up on the sides of the pitch. Manchester United come again, 0-0 very early stages, and in fact Dalot goes round the outside of Alexander-Arnold, who's able to get back and recover extremely well, and then Konate put under pressure by Højlund inside the penalty area, and he chips it up to Salah, who gets a shove in the back from Martinez. Nothing too aggressive, but he made sure he knew he was there, Pat.
Yeah. Do you know the odd thing about it? I mean, last night we watched the penalty given against Arsenal, and a kind of example of something that you've never almost seen before. I can't remember the last time I've seen a player sneaking on behind and 50,000 people not shouting, "He's behind you," because that's what they should have done. And if that would have led to the goal, that could have mayhem in the stadium.
If that had led to a Manchester United goal...
Well, but there was nothing wrong with it, John.
No, but you can imagine the reaction. Anyway, it didn't. It's still 0-0. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. And the rain is swirling around Anfield underneath the floodlights. And here's McAllister playing it out to Diaz on the left-hand side. Diaz, who scored a couple of goals in that win at Old Trafford earlier in the season. Of course, Mo Salah got the other goal as well. He always scores against Manchester United, it seems. And now here's Konate, who missed the last 8 matches. We knew he was back in training, but we weren't necessarily expecting him to be back in the team, but that's what he is.
It may well be the case that had other players been able to stay fit, they'd have given him a little bit more time, and been really, really cautious about it. But Leeds must in certain situations, and this is a game, as I said, it's not just Manchester United, it's the gap that this can provide for Liverpool at the top of the league.
Here's Jones, does well for Liverpool in the centre circle, keeps possession against Martinez, then it's played forward by Robertson, that's headed down and away, only back to the red shirts of Liverpool, but Jones is dispossessed by Mainoo. And there's a nice little interchange between Højlund and Mainoo. Højlund went crashing down, but referee Oliver plays the advantage with Manchester United in possession, but that pass is a little short from Mazraoui, and so Liverpool have got it back 10 yards inside their own half with McAllister, who's strong, very strong against Bruno Fernandes, and then Gravenberch with a simple pass over the halfway line for Alexander-Arnold, who seems to have so much space in front of him. Instead he gives it to the right hand side to Salah, shoots across goal, stretch from Maguire, he got his leg to it, and that actually killed the ball dead, and Ugarte was able to come in and sweep it out of play. Liverpool take the throw quickly, they're sensing vulnerability about Manchester United, and Salah wins the first corner of the match for Liverpool.
Ease in which Salah gets the ball, he's got Dalla in front of him, and there doesn't look any chance that Dalla's going to get the ball off him there. Just cruises inside, puts a very, very dangerous ball in. But here you need to stop crosses. Sometimes it's easier said than done against a player like him.
That's Pat Nevin with us for the commentary here on 5 Live in the World Service. Pat, former Scotland international, played here on Merseyside for Everton, Chelsea man as well, twice a Chelsea Player of the Year, and we are staring down to our left through that vague misting and raininess towards the Anfield Road end, where Alexander-Arnold is going to take this corner, an out swinger, which he does now, and goalkeeper Anana Combs gets a punch on that, up in the air, headed away by Bruno Fernandes, only just outside the penalty area. Jones under pressure, heads it, but he actually heads it for Manchester United to bring it forward. Here's Amad Diallo now for Manchester United, over there on the far side, in front of the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand. Liverpool going back into their own half. Mainoo, Manchester United, for this match, bringing back Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes into the team. They were missing through suspension for the Newcastle match, but Mainoo also coming in, so Xerxes on the substitutes bench after his early substitution in the Newcastle match, and Manchester United go all the way back to the edge of their own penalty area and then begin to build again. Ugarte, Delict, now to Mazraoui, the Moroccan, who is way down below us in front of Arne Slot, and Manchester United turn and try to exert a little bit of control on this, try to just quell the atmosphere. Long pass from Maguire, but that's beyond Bruno Fernandes, and it bounces out for a throw, despite the United captain applauding the intent.
Yeah, but I think what you said was right. You would have made a better decision there, because you were saying we're getting a little bit of control again, give everyone a touch, pass it around a bit, slow Liverpool down, don't allow them to get into their flow. But giving the ball away easily like that is not a good idea against Liverpool, because you don't get it back for a long time.
I hope you're not suggesting I'm naturally conservative or anything. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Here is Robertson, then McAllister goes back into the centre circle. We are going to go for an update on Northampton Bath, which was on Sports Extra. That's your choice of listening right now, the Premiership Rugby Union match, but with Liverpool in possession here. Let's just see how this develops. Here is Konate with his blue boots on. The first choice central defensive partnership reunited. Long pass from Konate towards the edge of the box, headed away by Mazraoui. Gravenberch nods that forward, cleared away by Martinez, and here is Dallo actually, who's able to take it away for Manchester United, who are attacking towards the Kop end. Although I say that, they're not attacking, they turn and actually go back towards the edge of their own penalty area. Maguire tries another long pass out to the right, where Mazraoui's able to take it down. Manchester United, the team that has lost 4 in a row in all competitions. The last time Manchester United lost 5 in a row was 1936. Here's Højlund with a touchback to Mainoo, but Liverpool win it back. Then Alexander-Arnold, left-footed ball across field, but onto the head of Mazraoui, and then Amad Diallo in a very central position. Actually just takes the ball back to the edge of his own penalty area. I think this is a tactic, Pat, yeah. Manchester United.
Yeah, try and kill it, they'll hold it there as much as possible. They know that Liverpool are trying to play a quite high line against them. The problem Manchester United have got, who's got the real pace to go beyond that line? Højlund possibly not, but that man Dallo, he's got a little bit of pace.
Another long pass from Maguire, nicely turned by Bruno Fernandes to Mazraoui, and now it's switched to the left-hand side to Dalot, but Liverpool are back in position. Here's Ugarte, 35 yards out, turns, passes it back to the left-hand side to Dalot. Menu is there as support. Kobbie Mainoo, still only 19 years old, don't forget. And then back to De Ligt near the halfway line. And it is very slow from Manchester United, this. And then suddenly 3 Liverpool players converge on De Ligt, and he plays it off McAllister and out for a throw.
Yeah, when you watch Manchester United playing that, you're thinking, is this the plan? Or is this a mirror of what the manager was saying beforehand? You know, they've not got the belief to take a chance and play those balls that are the ones you have to, the half-chance balls that you play through that are only on for a millisecond. Because there's no belief in the group, or most of the group, they're playing the safe and secure ball all the time. You're not going to get much out of Liverpool. Certainly, you're not going to score many goals or create many chances if you do that all the way through. Interesting
scoreline at Tannadice, because Hearts have taken the lead through James Penrice. Dundee United 0, Hearts 1. That a 3 o'clock kickoff. Long one downfield for Manchester United. Alisson's come a long way out of his box. Højlund was always the second favourite. Alisson got there first, but again Højlund just using the physical there, just made contact with the bodies after he cleared it away, let him know that he was there.
Højlund's not lightning quick. He's quick enough, but he's a powerful runner. That's the difference that he's got. So Van Dijk read it, seeing where he was going. And the thing about Højlund, recent game I watched him and he got so few touches, and people are questioning, he's not getting many touches. That ain't his fault. That's the players behind him not giving him it.
Meno's giving it away to Gakpo, and then Ugarte's in with the challenge. The ball had gone. You can hear Anfield is in uproar. Gakpo was sent flying. It's a free kick that's been given, and no more than that, says Michael Oliver.
Well, he thought about it, didn't he? He really thought about it. I think his hand reached for his right hand pocket and tapped it. So one warning, I don't think he'll get another one.
Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. If you're braving the conditions, remember you can take us with you on BBC Sounds. That'll make it all better. Here's Jones. Jones now to Alexander-Arnold. 30 yards out. Here's Salah on the right-hand side. Salah's ball across, cleared by Martinez. Alexander-Arnold with a shot. That's blocked. Comes to Diaz with the effort on the right foot, but sent that. He went for the curler, the attempted curler into the top corner, but it was wide and high by about 3 yards.
Well, any one of those 3 or 4 chances there could have let her go. Salah cutting in, unstoppable, not doing anything particularly complicated. Players are just backing off him and backing off him because of the fear factor. But when it falls to Trent Alexander-Arnold, you kind of expect it to be in the back of the net, but the block was made.
So the choice of listening right now on Sports Extra, you can hear Northampton Bath, and James Burridge has the latest.
This game is on a knife edge. Bath have come from 26-12 down to take the lead after a breakaway try from Joe Thokono-Singer, but Finn Smith has just knocked over a penalty for Northampton to make it 32-31 with 6 minutes to play.
In League Two, in the only match that survived, Crewe 3, Bromley 1, and Bromley are now down to 10 men. It is 0-0 here at Anfield in the Premier League after Fulham 2, Ipswich 2 in our earlier commentary match, which sounded quite dramatic, and we'll have more on that at half-time. Luis Diaz through to Gravenberch. Gakpo shoots across the face of goal. Lovely touch. He was near the left corner of the box. It was classic Gakpo, actually, keeping his balance, and with the outside of his boot, as Anana came out, just flicked it past him, but it rolled across the face of goal and wide.
Everything brilliant except one thing. Great play. McAllister really well involved in it at the start. Nice play, just cut them open completely. Little Boba Diaz is fantastic. However, why is he hitting it with the outside of his right foot? Clip it with your left. It's the most natural. Give you an extra step. You can put a little bit more. I know it's not his favourite foot, but you're capable of doing that. That should have been a left foot finish. I suspect it would have been in the goal had he done it.
Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. How very old-fashioned of you, Pat.
Well, take it with the right foot, the correct foot.
Footballers being two-footed.
To be honest, I actually usually allow left-footers to be one-footed. It's a weird thing, but left-footers almost always are very one-footed. But right-footers, nah, you should be able to use your left. People think I'm strange saying that, but it's the way it works.
Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. the other day, I think when I was at Brentford, I said this is real winter football now. However, I didn't know what was coming. Here is Jones playing the ball to the left-hand side. So I would reassess my comments. And now I will say, this is real winter football.
Absolutely. The thing is, if you're a player, once you're out there running, you absolutely won't be feeling it. You feel nothing at all. You're just playing in a bit of rain.
Here's Konate. Pass out to Salah. Salah in. McAllister with his shot. Oh, what an opportunity. What a goal it would have been. But Onana, it was more or less straight at him. And it was blocked wide and around the post for a corner. But he met that first time on the volley. McAllister twisting his body. And Onana makes the save.
They should be 2-0 up. They absolutely should be 2-0 up, Liverpool. They have cut Manchester United's defence totally wide open in the last 2 or 3 minutes. And it's not taking anything particularly complicated to do it. Just willing runners into spaces. If they score now, they could completely take over Liverpool.
That's ominous. That's a warning. Here comes the corner. It's caught by Onana, stretching his hands high on the edge of the 6-yard box. Kilmarnock 0, Ross County 1. George Harmon with the opening goal there. That also a 3 o'clock kickoff. Still Celtic 3, St Mirren 0 after their... Well, I think it was a surprise defeat, Pat, wasn't it? Certainly in terms of the scoreline, 3-0.
Wouldn't call it a surprise, I'd call it a shock.
Shock defeat. I hope you listen to that with us on Thursday. Here is Ugarte, 0-0 here. Ugarte playing it forward, he was caught, and then Højlund threw himself down after Van Dijk put the challenge in, but the earlier challenge on Ugarte was a Curtis Jones hauls Ugarte to his feet.
I think they've evened that one up there. I mean, there are going to be some tackles in that midfield just now, and if you're a referee in a game that like this, you cannot go for yellow cards too early. It can spoil the game, but it's a rod for your own back, as everybody knows. But Manchester United must be slightly relieved now. They know they could have been 2-0 down. Really surprised that it's one of those chances weren't taken.
Yeah, and I thought McAllister's body shape as he volleyed had a touch of Dalglish about it.
I see what you mean there.
Here's Bruno Fernandes then with the Manchester United free kick to the edge of the area. Maguire tries to head it across the edge of the box. That is blocked by Liverpool. Lovely touch from McAllister to take it past the first man forward towards Salah, but Bruno Fernandes was the covering player, and he was able to put the challenge in on Salah and win the ball back for Manchester United, who have played it all the way back to Onana. And with Bromley down to 10 men, it is now Crewe 4, Bromley 1. So Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Liverpool beginning what is their first match of this new year with a 5-point lead at the top of the table. Long and forward, Van Dijk comes across and heads it away. Now here's Amad Diallo, not really able to get into the game yet. Amad Diallo, remember his thrilling winner in the FA Cup tie between the sides last season at Old Trafford, the 4-3 after extra time, when he then got sent off for pulling his shirt off. Well, not yet into the match. He's been one of the brighter sparks, hasn't he, over the course of Amorim's time, and they're talking about him close to agreeing a new contract. Amad Diallo. Here's one for Bruno Fernandes to chase down into the right-back position, but it rolls out of play. He can't reach it, and it's a throw into Liverpool.
Yep. You know, when Liverpool actually get the ball with the goalkeeper, instead of playing it very, very quickly, what they tend to do is slow it right down and allow Liverpool to get themselves back into position. And because of that, there's no space whatsoever for Diallo to get the ball. There's no space for Bruno Fernandes to get on the ball and do his creative work either. So, and I understand why they're doing it, why they're slowing it down, why they're trying to kill the game, but a wee bit early to be wasting time, I think.
Yeah, the Liverpool supporters, by the way, all the fans coming together just there. You heard the applause for a young Liverpool fan, Max Greenhouse, who sadly lost his life in a car accident recently. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Alexander Arnold now with the pass, but Diallo was retreating, just keeping an eye on Salah, who was on the right wing, but Diallo was able to receive the ball. Salah, by the way, he scored in the last 7 matches at Old Trafford against Manchester United. As United come forward, and the ball is played slightly behind Amad Diallo, who was inside the penalty area and ended up heading it away. However, Mazraoui shoots, that's blocked. Kobbie Mainoo with a chance, deflected over the top of the crossbar. Manchester United broke away down the left-hand side with Diallo, who swung the ball in, but Diallo had just
just behind him, wasn't it?
It was just behind him.
There's nothing you can do about that. You're flying at this point. He was onside. We were level with it when the ball was played through, and he's flicked it in. If you're on that left-hand side and you're trying to play in the middle, you want your forward to hang back a little bit to give you something to aim at, because if you put it too close to the keeper, he'll just come out. And just seeing what happened there.
They collided with Alisson.
Yeah, I thought it might have been the post, but you're right, it was Alisson. Very brave of him to get in there, but he must be gutted. He's running in towards the cop there. The right ball in front of him, and I just think the young lad, he just got a bit
over-eager.
Yeah, over-eager, no more. And not a natural centre forward waits, because you can always make up ground. You can't stop and get back when you're going at that pace.
Which led to the odd sight, actually. If you watch it on Match of the Day tonight, it actually looked like he was heading it away, but he'd overrun it, Amad Diallo, so he was beyond the ball, and then trying to get his head to it, actually headed it away to the edge of the Liverpool box.
You do anything to get on the edge of it. I mean, well done him. I mean, that's certainly the best piece of play for Manchester United so far. We're talking about that high line. Well, they managed to get past it that time. So Diallo left-hand side to Diallo. And then one thing they can work on.
So it's a corner though to Manchester United. Diallo's received treatment. I think he's going to be all right. He's just clapping hands with Bruno Fernandes. Manchester United, who've not even scored here since 2018. Here's Bruno Fernandes' corner, and then it's headed away, and then Salah plays it back to Alexander-Arnold, who is tucking back De Ligt, who very cleverly, the Dutch central defender actually got in front of Alexander-Arnold, slowed down, which forced Alexander-Arnold to foul him and win a free kick for Manchester United.
It's a very important challenge I had to make there, because there was a massive overload on that right-hand side. And that's not the first thing you want to do, is to get an overload when you've got Salah on the right-hand side. Salah is picking up some absolutely brilliant positions just now. Just a few minutes ago, he found himself centre forward one-on-one. It was just a poor ball, he never got it.
Manchester United take the quick free kick, then it's played in by Bruno Fernandes. They headed down at the back post, but the offside flag is up. It might have been De Ligt. Both De Ligt and Maguire were after it at the far post, so it is offside, and it's a free kick to Liverpool. Although Bruno Fernandes is he suggesting that, what's he complaining about? He's waving his arms around. Anyway, he actually might have just been calling his teammates forward. I think he was for to press from the goal kick for Liverpool.
Which is interesting. There's many a manager.
Diallo and Salah are wrestling one another. Salah might have been away. Actually, referee Oliver pulls out the first yellow card of the match for Diallo. So the Manchester United left wing back up against Salah is on a yellow card, and he was sent off here last season. Not
good news at all. It means you can't get too close to Salah, so you have to be very, very sensible, because you just need to make one mistake now, which is easy to make with the speed that Mo Salah's feet go at.
And as you say that, Pat, Diallo has to get close to Salah, which he does, but wins this little duel as he plays the ball out off Salah for a throw-in for Manchester United.
It's just mildly surprised there that Salah didn't try and pick up a lot of pace and go at him at pace, because if you do that in a player who's already just been booked, then they must back off you.
Still 0-0, 5 Live in the World Service from the BBC, and Manchester United, who have created a chance, coming forward again. Bruno Fernandes gets a second chance to pass it to Højlund, and the Dane turns and goes around the outside on the left, crosses, and then Konate, with Mazraoui arriving behind him, thumps the ball over the top left corner of his own net, halfway up the Kop.
There are many things that happen in football purely on times, substitutions that are made at 60 minutes that you know you're going to make them anyway. There are a lot of managers in the Premier League and away games now that basically say defend, sensible, calm for 20 minutes and then break out. I have a suspicion Almiron said that to his own players today.
We are halfway through the first half, and in front of the Kop, Manchester United have a corner, with rain continuing to sweep across Anfield. Bruno Fernandes plays it into the near post, headed down by Gakpo, then he works it away from his own 6-yard box, back to Bruno Fernandes, who goes for a Rabona cross, which is caught by Alisson, but in any case the flag had gone up and Bruno Fernandes was in an offside position, and now Alisson delivers it forward to Gravenberch, and the Dutchman takes it over the halfway line. Gravenberch infield towards McAllister, then back to Gravenberch again, one of the stars of Liverpool's season. Gravenberch, this 22-year-old Dutchman who started every match bar the 3 matches in the Carabao Cup. Now Diaz stabs it infield, it comes off De Ligt, and Gravenberch actually, it's kept in play by Diallo. No, it isn't. The assistant down here says it did go out for a throw-in to Liverpool. It's full-time now, Northampton Bath. James Burridge.
An incredible finish, and Northampton Saints prevailing 35 points to 34. A minute from time, Finn Russell had given Bath the lead with a penalty, but Northampton won the restart. Finn Smith kicked it over in dead time, and from being 19-0 up, they let Bath back into the contest, but Phil Dowson's side hang on by a thread. 35-34, one of the games of the season.
And now 0-0 in one of the great fixtures of the season. Alexander-Arnold driving forward, uses Salah, left-footed ball lifted into the box. That's headed down by Ugarte, comes out to his teammate Bruno Fernandes, and for Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes chips it across the edge of his own penalty area. Then Mazraoui with a nutmeg on Luis Diaz to keep possession for Manchester United. Full-time whistles going in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Celtic have won 3-0 against St Mirren, so more to come on that at half-time in this match, with 2 goals for Kuhn and 1 for Trusty, the Celtic goal scorers. And Sunderland have beaten Portsmouth by 1-0. So another good win for Sunderland after their excellent victory on was that New Year's Day night against Sheffield United. Isidore scoring the only goal today. I have to say, I feel for Portsmouth supporters today, travelling up to the Stadium of Light.
It's a bit of a jaunt
in this weather. So good luck to them on the travels back as well, and to everyone else too. Almost half an hour played. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0, and more details to come on those matches at half time. It's also Kilmarnock 0, Ross County 1. That late goal has won it for Ross County. Liverpool with Gravenberch again near the centre circle. Gravenberch rolls a pass to his left to Andy Robertson. Back to Gravenberch again, and then Liverpool going back to Van Dijk.
Do you know what's very noticeable, John, that the way it is, it's not a 3-4-2-1 that Manchester United are playing when they're out of possession. They absolutely are a back 5. That's the way it has to be, and I think that's sensible from Amorim.
Robertson now to Gakpo, then square 25 yards out. Gravenberch had to stretch for that, and as he did so, he could only send it all the way through for a goal kick. Yes, that was one of the things you mentioned last night, wasn't it, when we were discussing the possibilities today?
Yeah, because I mean, the thing is, you've got 2 different systems at the same time. When you've not got the ball, you just fall back. You've got a 5 line at the back. You make sure the 2 wide attackers the wide midfielders are no longer wide midfielders. They're just basically full-backs. But when you win the ball, they have to do another job as well. The problem is being caught if you're halfway through doing those 2 things. That's where the likes of Salah make a lot of capital. So far, a couple of chances, but then Manchester United have a couple of chances too.
Yeah. Mohamed Salah, who's the Liverpool record goal scorer, with 15 in 16 appearances against Manchester United. It's finished St Johnstone 1, Dundee 3. St Johnstone bottom of the table. And yes, you and I changed our plans, didn't we, to come to Merseyside yesterday because of the dire weather warnings. Good decision, I think.
I would say so. He didn't too much driving.
Yes,
all the way from
don't get them all right, but I think that one was right. Now Jones plays it to Alexander-Arnold on the right, but he was his momentum actually caused him to slip over. Lost his balance, and now Mainu does likewise. After trying to close down Konate, Mainu ran off the pitch into one of those snowdrifts and was dancing around on the top of a snowdrift, fell into another one, and was then able to regather his feet, much to the amusement of the Liverpool fans.
Small Christopher Dean moment there, I think. For the kids out there.
Yeah. Or Robin Cousins. Here's Gravenberch through the middle. Shoots though! Oh, that wasn't too far wide. From probably 23, 24 yards out. Strength again, even though the United challenges were coming in. But he hit it wide and it bounced narrowly wide.
It is the joy of Liverpool. They are so dangerous from so many different areas. Right, we know about Salah, you go on about him all the time, and rightly so. But Diaz, he's changing with Gakpo quite a lot of the time. Sometimes it's Diaz who's the false 9, sometimes it's Gakpo. So you come from left, right, through the centre, but also those midfielders, every one of them is capable of getting forward and being dangerous for a pocket goal. And then you add on top of that Trent Alexander-Arnold. And that is the problem if you're playing against them. You're trying to put fingers in the holes of the dike all the time. They just pop up somewhere else. They're so dangerous when they break.
Yes, not Van Dijk. Here's Ugarte, and then it's won back for Liverpool by Gakpo, who goes on a direct run towards the edge of the penalty area. And these are the undoubted first choice front three for Liverpool this season, with the goals and the all-round play that they're delivering. And Bruno Fernandes draws the foul from McAllister, and it's a free kick to Manchester United, just a few yards inside the Liverpool half over on the far side. It has finished Crewe 4, Bromley 1. As I say, that's the only match that survived the weather in League 2. Also Dundee United 0, Hearts 1, so Hearts have won at Tannadice. And Manchester United with this free kick, which is played quite long into the penalty area. Højlund comes across. No Marcus Rashford again for Manchester United today, as you might have heard. Ruben Amorim says he's been unwell this week. Menu then swings it into the box, but over the top of Jallo, and it bounces through for Alisson. Half an hour played, and it's still goalless. It's a little bit like some of the matches we'll be covering next weekend, Pat, talking about the underdogs getting through the first half hour without conceding a goal.
I'll be at Newcastle, and I think they may be quite confident in their game.
That's Bromley, isn't it?
Exactly, especially after Bromley's result today.
Just been thumped by Crewe. It all changes though, doesn't it, when it comes to the FA Cup? The big teams play very different teams now, which gives the lesser sides more of a chance. So we're looking forward. We'll be bringing you FA Cup commentaries from Thursday night onwards during the course of the 4 days of the third round, and also cup commentaries on 5 Live Tuesday night and Wednesday night with the first legs of the semi-finals, and that includes Tottenham against Liverpool on Wednesday and Arsenal Newcastle on Tuesday. So 5 Live, the place to listen to those two matches. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. As Curtis Jones, that's a lovely ball released down the right for Alexander-Arnold. Maguire comes across, and between the two of them, I think Alexander-Arnold tried to fire it off Maguire, and it didn't get a touch, says referee Oliver. Goal kick, Manchester United.
Again, good movement there from Trent Alexander-Arnold. A real willingness to get forward at every opportunity. Actually, I think it was quite good defending by Maguire, getting over there and covering, because it's just what I was saying before. You don't know where that breaking player is going to come from with Liverpool. There are so many. McAllister might be the one that makes it. He made one earlier on and almost scored for it. And they take it in turns to run into those gaps, so you have to have your wits about you, because the problem is Man United's midfielders aren't covering.
That's a lovely pass from Gravenberch through the gap to Gakpo. Gakpo, who's over towards the right-hand side, actually gives it to Salah. Then it comes back to Alexander-Arnold. Still 0-0 if you've just joined us. Here is Konate now. Konate surprisingly coming back into the starting lineup. Bradley's on the bench as well for Liverpool as he comes back. But no Szoboszlai today. Apparently he's the latest to pick up an illness, so he's not involved. Here's Konate. Then just a little touch from Jones. Maguire's able to clear away on the edge of the area. Many times over the years I've seen Maguire relish these sort of conditions, and now Van Dijk steps in, but then so does De Ligt as well. That was an uncompromising challenge, and a good one as well. Good tackle on Diaz. Then Mazraoui. Manchester United are warming to their task. Højlund takes it down into the full-back position. Robertson, might have been contact between the two of them. Højlund went down, no free kick. Now McAllister to Diaz, but Maguire this time in. That's a hard tackle as well on Luis Diaz.
Two seriously old school tackles there, but well done for the players getting up, taking the hit.
Both on Diaz.
And the thing is, if they'd slightly mistimed him, they were absolute 100% yellow cards, but they nailed them in every sense of the word. Well,
I often talk about Luis Diaz's wiry strength, and he needed all of that there to withstand those two challenges.
Well, he's also changed his manner of taking tackles since he started playing with Liverpool. He takes them out as opposed to rolls about, which is very impressive. I like him for that a lot.
Yeah, for non-regular listeners, that very much is a Pat Nevin bugbear.
Yeah.
And rightly so. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Alexander-Arnold. And now Jones. And Gravenberch to the right-hand side to Salah. Salah running at Gallo. And then back in comes the cross towards the back post, but it's over the top of Gakpo. It will bounce though to Robertson. Robertson's cross! That's headed away by Maguire, stretching, just got to it with that famous forehead of his. Then Alexander-Arnold. Oh, what a turn from Gravenberch. Jones plays it back to McAllister. 25 yards out, pulls the pass to Gakpo on the left-hand side. Gakpo coming in, curling it into the penalty area. That is up and away by Martinez on the volley. Headed back for Liverpool. They are testing them here. But Manchester United have held strong so far. And Ugarte passes the ball into space on the left-hand side. Bruno Fernandes is able to carry it forward. He's got Dalot there with him. The white shirts of Manchester United eventually up there to support him. Comes back to Bruno Fernandes, who, well, I don't think he had too much of an option there. He just put his foot in the way of it, and it bounced all the way through into the penalty area to Alisson.
It's just a little bit of a shame there. Just before Gakpo made a poor decision for him. Robertson was flying out the outside. He could have gotten to the byline there, which is exactly what you want to try and do when you've got Robertson on your left-hand side. Just put an aimless ball into the middle. But the reason why I mention it, it's so unlike Gakpo. He always plays, or almost always plays, the right ball. On that occasion, for me, he played the wrong one.
Yeah, excellent form this season. Gakpo with his 9 goals in his last 14 appearances. Here's Salah. Salah now dancing his way to the corner of the penalty area. Back it comes to Gravenberch, and then McAllister plays it square. Just while you were talking there, Pat, it was another challenge on Luis Diaz. This time from Ugarte. That was a free kick. Ball in now for Liverpool. Cleared away to Gravenberch. First time touch. Salah plays it into the penalty area. Chest down by McAllister, but Mazraoui was able to come round behind the Argentine just to see it safely back to Onana, and it remains 0-0.
I think Liverpool are playing quite well. Not that they're absolute zippiest best, I wouldn't suggest, particularly in the final third, but I also think that Liverpool have got gears that they can go through.
Liverpool are playing well, but whisper it quietly, in the circumstances, Manchester United are playing quite well.
That was going to be the second part of the sentence, which would be, I think Manchester United will be delighted with the start of this game. Yeah, for the first 15-20 minutes they weren't getting out of their own third very much. Then there was 2 great chances, but since then, back into the game. The manager seems to have got what his ideas about what the game plan is today working well, but very much if they lose a goal, then that all seems to sound a little bit shallow, because if you lose a goal now, you need to completely change it.
0-0, free kick, Manchester United. Offside flag is up, even though Van Dijk headed it away. Don't forget, this fixture last season ended 0-0 when Manchester United and Erik ten Hag were criticised in some quarters for their lack of adventure, but at the same time should point out that in this run, this quite lengthy run since Manchester United last won here, which is back in 2016, there have actually been 4 0-0s here between Liverpool and Manchester United in the last 9 matches. Liverpool coming forward, and McAllister trying to take the ball that came in from the right from Salah, trying to twist and take it in the air, which was a high tariff to go back to Robin Cousins, but he got it all wrong and it bounced through for a goal kick.
Yeah, but again, down that right hand side, the ball always eventually comes in, doesn't it? It's never really stopped out there. The full back or the left centre back just never stops it. It always comes in, and it's up to those 3 centre backs to make sure that they defend well. So far they've either defended well or got a little bit lucky once or twice.
He was going for the McAllister and trying to take that. He was going for the full triple Salco, wasn't he? As Diaz is fouled again. It's another little free kick. It was Ugarte again with that foul. So they're building up. Michael Oliver will be taking a note. Liverpool back in possession. Might have even had a touch of Pike in it.
Or a triple toe loop.
Yes, as Robertson plays a pass that bounces all the way through to Onana. So 6 minutes to go to half-time. And who would have expected that Liverpool so far would not have broken through? Massive favourites coming into this match. Very much the top dogs, Liverpool. But Manchester United, the record 20 times champions. That's what Liverpool this season are attempting to draw alongside, and in great shape to do that. Throwing to Liverpool halfway inside their own half.
Big part of Manchester United's problem. They've 1 or 2 little chances they've created, but really they've not had a great deal of imagination and creativity going forward. Bruno Fernandes has not got on the ball at all yet. Been very hard for Diallo as well. You've got to say, Højlund, he works his socks off. Problem is, a very, very predictable runs a lot of the time.
There's Menu. under pressure from Robertson, was able to find the pass to Amad Diallo. Menu again back on his feet. Ugarte with a cross very high to Dalot, who on the dead ball line headed it back across. It didn't go out of play, says the assistant. The Anfield crowd thinks it did go out of play. Martinez now finding a little pass on the edge of the area as he then dives in on Gravenberch and Martinez.
I think the referee was trying to get his assistant out of a bit of a hole there, because it really did look as if it had gone over there. I mean, the assistant referee's got a good angle on it.
Long pass from Alexander-Arnold, but straight at his England colleague Harry Maguire, who was able to control it, kill it dead. Maguire. Then Amad Diallo slips the ball through. Lovely pass. Bruno Fernandes across, but Van Dijk in there ahead of Højlund.
Another good moment. You know, the final ball's not been good enough, by the way. Had a little look at that. It was a good yard over the line. Had that gone in, I don't think the cop would have been very happy, but that's why you've got VAR.
Pat, was one of those, was there, that cross with Højlund making the run? Was that one of those instances where you would have said, really, Højlund to make a run to the near post?
Yeah, it's funny, it's as if, I mean, I really like him as a player, but the real great centre-forwards make unexpected runs, or make the runs quicker than any defender sees them coming. I think Van Dijk knows what he's doing most of the time, so he needs to maybe change it up a bit and do an unexpected run.
Here's Dalot for Manchester United, curls a teasing looking ball into the area, but Van Dijk was underneath that. Still 21 years old, Højlund. There's Liverpool with Jones, but that's one back for Manchester United. Jones is all over Ugarte. It was the Uruguayan who won the ball back for Manchester United, and then Manchester United again with it. Menu passes it out to Dalot. Menu, you know, he's one of the local boys. This will mean so much. Ball passed over the top for Manchester United, and Højlund from the angle. Alisson comes out, makes a blocking save. Bruno Fernandes with a shot. That's blocked by Alexander-Arnold in the area. Liverpool supporters wondering about offside against Højlund there. It wasn't given. That was a big chance for Manchester United, not taken. And then an attempt at a shot from Dalot was blocked at source by McAllister, who's able to play it forward to Luis Diaz, and Luis Diaz swirls the ball over the top down the right-hand side to Salah. Salah running against Martinez into the area, and then hits it across goal, and Salah puts his hands on his head. He almost can't believe it. With Diaz and Gakpo both inside the penalty area arriving, Salah got it all wrong.
Well, so many things happened there. The Højlund run this time, it was a classic old school run. He's definitely onside, no shadow of a doubt. I don't have to look at a replay. He was onside. He called his run well, he got into good position, but he just couldn't find the back of the net. And of course, seconds later, we talked last night, we talked before the game today, at some point in this game, Salah, because of the system we're playing, will end up 1-on-1 against the left centre-back. It happened there. He kind of should have scored. And 99 times out of 100, Salah scores, or at least gets a great save out of the goalkeeper from that position. Salah's been waiting 43 minutes almost for that to happen, and he couldn't convert it.
Mo Salah has scored in 10 of Liverpool's last 11 Premier League games. The only one he didn't was the 2-2 draw here against Fulham. And that's a poor pass from Konate, and that provoked a reaction around Anfield of angry frustration, actually. Passed it beyond Alexander-Arnold, out for a throw-in.
Well, you looked right, I looked left at the Manchester United fans, and they're beginning to get a little bit of belief there. You know, the last few minutes they've been getting into good positions, they're working really, really hard, and they're not being carved open the same way they were for the first 10 or 15 minutes. It's a little bit of belief, that belief that Amorim hasn't seen in his team. Beginning to see a little smidgen of it at the moment.
Ruben Amorim in a padded coat, just pacing around on the edge of the 6-yard box, the technical area. That was a great wriggle away, by the way, from Bruno Fernandes over there past Trent Alexander-Arnold. Won a throw-in, which Manchester United take just inside the Liverpool half. Half-time approaching, 5 Live and the World Service from the BBC. We're available as well, all live radio on BBC Sounds. Amad Diallo dispossessed. Gakpo then Menu in on the challenge. That's a good tackle for Manchester United, and then just a little tap on McAllister, who goes down. It was a foul. It's a free kick. McAllister quickly up. Arne Slot now is out with instructions on the edge of his technical area, hands in his pockets. had one arm out quickly, hands back in pockets. Still the rain falls, as it has done during the entirety of the match since kick-off. Here's Konate. Still 0-0. Liverpool have had the better chances, but Manchester United have posed the odd problem. And probably the Gravenberch shot that bounced narrowly wide, the closest. Here is Alexander-Arnold winning a throw-in down the right-hand side. So we'll have 2 minutes of added time. So Manchester United still level here. Liverpool still frustrated. But here's Jones. Jones into the... Luis Diaz into the box. Back to Gravenberch. Gravenberch tries to shoot, but that's blocked away. Manchester United had men back in there. It was very congested. It was very central. Luis Diaz and Gakpo trying to find a way through.
And also Gravenberch before that. The way Gravenberch is by players, he is so smooth.
Alexander-Arnold now the pass that runs away from Salah. Manchester United cheers from their section in the Anfield Road end as the ball runs over the line and bobbles around in some of that piled up snow. Goal kick.
Yeah, it wasn't a great ball by Trent Alexander-Arnold. You could see what he was trying to do, but not well delivered at all. And considering his phenomenal ability in the pass, maybe slightly surprising.
So 0-0, just like last season here in this match, which, if you remember, was the match here after the 7-0, that record-breaking 7-0, the only 7-0 that there's ever been in this fixture, as Liverpool lose possession centre field. Bruno Fernandes now, the Manchester United captain, to Mazraoui. Down here on this side of the field, the Manchester United right wing, Amad Diallo's there as well, and he passes the ball back into his own half. Still 30 seconds of the added time at the end of this first period to play. Maguire is now going to carry it forward. Ruben Amorim saying they are going to trigger the extension in his contract, so he's still going to be there, all things well for Manchester United, until 2026, the end of the season after next. Maguire, who passes the ball behind Martinez, who's going to struggle. He can't reach it, but Michael Oliver gets Harry Maguire off the hook there because he blows the whistle for half-time. It would have been a throw to Liverpool, but there we are. 0-0, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, and I think Harry Maguire's very happy that whistle was blown there. It's possibly the worst pass of the day. But apart from that, Manchester United, you have to say, well done. Worked incredibly hard, which is number one. You expect that to be, any team will do that. But there have been times you watch Manchester United and you think, is everyone really putting in everything? Well, they are today. Actually, there's not a player out there you would actually question. So well done, that's the most important thing. They've kept the shape really well. Yeah, there's been a couple of chances for Liverpool, and had they got those first two, they could have been away and clear. However, they come back into it, Manchester United, started creating chances themselves, getting up, particularly in the left-hand side, and it's been quite an intriguing and open game by the end of the 45 minutes.
Yeah, the chances Manchester United had from the Diallo break, the opportunity for Diallo when he overran or was over-ego in his run, couldn't head it goalwards, and Højlund's chance as well. But at the other end, you know, I mentioned the Gravenberch shot, the McAllister effort as well, which would have been a terrific goal had he not shot straight at the goalkeeper. Anyway, there we are, half-time here in the coldness of Merseyside. It's Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0.
Do you know, Pat, I found the Liverpool approach to that half really interesting, and I don't know whether it's just because Manchester United have defended really well or not, but I sort of expected Liverpool to really try and make them suffer for sort of every moment, and it hasn't really worked out that way in that first half.
No, you're absolutely right. I described Liverpool's performances quite good, as opposed to their best, zippy, sharp, inventive, the way they can be. I'm still expecting that to come. I'm still expecting that when they turn around to go into the Kop end, that's going to come. The Kop, they always do that. They always lift their game, and it's always much harder for the opposition in the second half when that happens. So, I wouldn't write that off. But give Manchester United their due. They defended really quite hard. Ugarte and Menu in the centre midfield, they're not doing anything exciting or special, but they're covering the ground and they're making the tackles and they're making it difficult for Liverpool to cruise through. But every now and again, what you're saying about Liverpool, you see a little glimpse of it, don't you?
Yeah.
Just a wee glimpse of it. It's happened, I would say, 6 or 7 times during the half, and each time it's led to either a chance or a half chance. But I know what you mean. There's been times you watch Liverpool, and they're at that like almost all the time. If they don't get a goal early in the second half, what I tend to expect to see is that builds, and that gets more and more and more as the game goes on. And that's the big fear that Man United have got. But having said that, they've lasted 45. They've come into the game much better in the second part of that half, and they have had their chances themselves. So some tentative smiles in that dressing room, that Manchester United dressing room just now, I think.
Yeah, and I suppose with the knowledge of what might well be to come from the Liverpool perspective, that makes that Højlund chance all the bigger for Manchester United. It was a massive chance.
It was. I was just talking about his movement beforehand, and you know, it's almost like you've gone into a kind of textbook of what a centre forward should do. A peeling run into a certain area, kind of the inside right, outside left kind of line, drag a defender, and you think you're doing all the things technically correct and you're working really, really hard. Now do something weird because all the technical things is exactly what, I mean, Van Dijk's seen them all and he can see them all in his sleep, and Kanate similarly so too. So he actually dropped deep a little bit, and that came from a deeper run. So you look at the young man and you're thinking, right, you're a natural goal scorer when you're in front of the goal, you're working hard, just add that oddness, and he did it there, and that led to his chance. The sadness is that natural striking ability let him down at that last moment in front of the Kop.
Very interesting. We'll go with that. Interesting, intriguing, maybe entertaining in the second half. We'll see. Pat, John, thank you very much. So Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. On the way, lots of reaction to the day's football, which has finished. So Raul Jimenez and Kieran McKenna on the way after Fulham 2, Ipswich 2. We'll wrap up all of the football in England and Scotland after the latest news with Nick Hatfield.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Steve. Good evening. A number of airports have reopened after shutting their runways because of snow, but some passengers are still facing delays. Manchester, Liverpool, John Lennon and Leeds Bradford are all operating again. This passenger, John, was due to fly from Manchester to Doha, but his flight has been delayed for several hours.
The information I've been given is, the flight, we should have took off at 7:45 this morning. The flight has been redirected to Birmingham due to the weather. But saying that, this aeroplanes have been taken off all day. And we're still here, and the aeroplane isn't back here yet.
Well, the snow has also caused disruption on the roads and trains. A major winter storm is also sweeping across the central United States. With a combination of snow, ice and plummeting temperatures, tens of millions of Americans are preparing for what could be the heaviest snowfall and coldest conditions in more than a decade. In Kansas, wind chills of minus 29 degrees Celsius are forecast. The Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, says Elon Musk has made a disgraceful smear against the Home Office Minister Jess Phillips. The tech billionaire accused her of being a rape apologist after she rejected a request for a national inquiry into child sexual exploitation in Oldham. And Ukraine has launched a new offensive in Russia's Kursk region. That's according to Russia's defence ministry. Ukraine first started its incursion into Kursk in August last year, seizing a chunk of territory.
Sir Alex Ferguson is the most successful British manager of all time.
Solskjaer has won the European Cup for Manchester United!
So how did an apprentice toolmaker from Glasgow become one of the most iconic figures in sporting history?
His strength of character, his determination, the fight in him. Ferguson was every department.
He can be persuasive, he can be charming, he can be frightening.
Go down as the best. It's simple as that.
I'm Kelly Cates, and this is Sporting Giants Sir Alex Ferguson.
I didn't want to feel, I couldn't feel.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport
with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0 in the Premier League. Second half commentary on the way. Already today, Fulham and Ipswich drew 2-2 at Craven Cottage. Raul Jimenez scored both of Fulham's goals from the penalty spot. Here he is with Guy Mowbray.
Tell us about the pressure of taking penalties that you know need to go in. How do you stay so cool and focused?
Well, it's something that I have been doing since I was in Mexico, this kind of taking the penalties like that. So I'm really, I don't want to say it like this, but special in this kind of moments. I always like to take the penalties. I love that pressure, but I also confident about myself, about what I'm going to do and how to score those penalties.
One went left, one went right. At what point do you make up your mind about which penalty you're going to take?
Well, it's till the end, till where I see the goalkeeper is moving. I sometimes go to the other side, sometimes same side as the goalkeeper, but a little bit stronger, as he has the. He don't know where I'm gonna shoot. It's difficult for him to know to go to the right way. So, well, I'm happy on scoring those 2 goals.
Those Jimenez penalties keep Ipswich in the bottom 3 on goal difference. Here's manager Kieran McKenna.
Of course, there's mixed emotions after a game like that. You're always frustrated when you've had the lead and not gone on to win the game. Disappointed with the penalties that we conceded because they were probably a little bit unnecessary. But really, really pleased and proud of the performance. I thought we did a lot of good work again off the ball. Showed some real good quality and put some moves together on the ball. And we had chances to actually go and win the game. And we weren't quite able to get the 2-goal margin, but probably in the second half especially, I think we had the better chances to go and win it. So, a really good performance. Hard-fought point in the road. Of course, it was a game of ups and downs, but I think the players did a good job.
It could have been 6 points, but still 4 points in the last 2 games. You would have taken that, wouldn't you, at the beginning of the week?
Yeah, of course we would. I think, you look at the Christmas fixtures with Arsenal away, Chelsea at home, then Fulham away. The strength for those sides to be as competitive as we have across the 3 games in pretty quick succession, with bodies missing in each of the games, or Omari missing today, I think it's a big testament to the group. So, yeah, I think we're in a positive place.
Kieran McKenna with George. Come in shortly after the game. Ipswich announced their first signing of the January window, the former Everton and Norwich defender Ben Godfrey joining on loan from Atalanta until the end of the season. 08085 909 693 606 with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage on the way once we're done at Anfield. Afternoon, Chris.
Afternoon, Steve. Ben Godfrey, what's he doing going to Ipswich?
That is going to be a big talking point, Chris. Could you have done that? Did you try and do that?
Don't be ridiculous. I think Ipswich were in Division 4 when I played. No, they
setup.
weren't.
What a lob.
But do you know what? Aren't they making a great fist of the Premier League and giving themselves a chance? So impressed with Kieran McKenna and his Ipswich team, beating Chelsea and then going to Fulham, who are really excellent at home, and getting a result. I just wonder from an Ipswich Town fan's perspective, though, does that feel like a couple of points dropped rather than a point gained, because they were ahead going into injury time, weren't they? But no, fair play to them. And I think they have, out of all the sides who got promoted, they have the best chance of staying up. So I want to hear from Ipswich Town fans.
Do you think, if you were sort of a striker right now, top end of the Championship, okay, throw your Norwich history out of the window just for a moment, Ipswich would be an attractive club to go to, wouldn't they? Because they're not one of those teams who you look at and think, oh, well, if I go there, am I going to be back in the Championship shortly? They've got a good chance.
Yeah, and all joking aside, Steve, they're a club who you just feel are moving in the right direction. I thought they brought really wisely in the summer, Delap and Smodix, good piece of business. And even if worse games are the worst and they did go back down, you can see them bouncing straight back. They're a club moving in the right direction. So fair play to Ipswich Town.
What about this game at Anfield, Chris?
Well, my 5-0 prediction is still on.
Is that what you said?
5-5.
To be fair,
yeah.
I would have gone very similar, I think.
But no, I mean, Manchester United, they've put up a really good showing in the first half, haven't they? And they've been competitive. I thought Liverpool would blow them away. It's a big second half for both, though, isn't it? Because Liverpool, with whether we like it or not, Arsenal slipped up last night, didn't they? And the chance to go 9 points clear at the top, that's there. I expect a stronger showing from Liverpool in the second half. But Højlund, what an opportunity he had. And I like a lot of things about Højlund, but he's not a natural finisher. And, they're not going to get too many more chances in this game. But if Manchester United do hold on for a point, that would be massive for them. And it's been a big afternoon north of the border as well, Steve. How can Rangers demolish Celtic, how they did on Thursday, and then rock up and drop points away at Hibs? I do not understand it. Pressure back on Philip Clement. Celtic have gone 13 points clear at the top. It does look like the title race is over north of the border, but I want to hear from Rangers fans. That must be so frustrating. I don't know whether you watched the game against Celtic, Steve, but it was really one-sided, and then they sort of had to back it up today. They didn't do that, so I want to hear from Rangers and Celtic fans and Hearts fans. Massive win for them away at Dundee United, who have been absolutely flying this season.
Yeah, well, you've set us up perfectly to hear from Philippe Clement. So thanks, Chris. Have a good one.
Cheers, Steve. Thank
Top
you.
Man, Chris Sutton, Robbie Savage, 606, lines open, 08085 909 693. Yeah, remarkable game. Hibs 3, Rangers 3. Here's Clement, who wasn't happy about the penalty given against his side at 2-2.
I saw a lot of good things from my team, a lot of good football, a lot of good goals, but also a goal against with a penalty that I don't understand. It's a collision between two players. I hope we get a really good explanation that I can explain my players also, that with this kind of context, going down, it's penalties. So, and otherwise, also to hear it's not a penalty, what's clearly the case for everybody who played football, I think.
How frustrating is it for you to drop points on the road again, away from home?
Yeah, we don't deserve this today with this game. I think everybody, like you said, enjoyed watching this game. And everybody will say also after the game that we deserve the 3 points. And that's what we need to do every time. To work hard, to deserve the 3 points. And also, yes, defensively to win these kind of duels like at the end. But we know also how many players we miss for a moment.
Philippe Clement in Rugby Union's Premiership, defending champions Northampton Saints narrowly beat top of the table Bath in a thriller. 35-34 it finished. In the Women's Premiership, the defending champions Gloucester Hartpury beat Bristol Bears 40-17 in front of a record crowd. Over 9,000 fans there to see Olympic bronze medalist American Ilona Maher make her debut for the Bears. She came on as a second half substitute.
It was exciting. It was nerve-wracking. Before I went on, they're like, you're going to go on at the 60. I was like, okay, you sure? You want me out there? But once I did get on the field, I really felt like, I know this. This is rugby. I've been playing this for many years, and I'm very comfortable in it. So I feel really good.
And how about that for a reception?
Yeah, so exciting. I think I was really ready for it, and I was excited for it because I've been doing a lot of promotion for this game, and I wanted to set a record out here. We had, I think, 9,100 fans or something like that. Like, that's so cool, and I just hope that they came to watch this game. I hope they come to watch the next game and the next game, and they become true Bristol Bears fans.
That is Ilona Maher. Other scores for you. Back to the football in the Championship. It finished Sunderland 1, Portsmouth 0. So Sunderland 4th in the table and 2 points behind second place Burnley in the Scottish Premiership. Motherwell 2, Aberdeen 0. Celtic beat St Mirren 3-0. Finished Dundee United 0. Hearts won. Absolutely massive victory for Hearts, who are now 8 points above bottom of the table St Johnstone, who lost 3-1 at home to Dundee. The other score today, Kilmarnock 0, Ross County 1, and only one game got on in the end in League 2, and that finished Crewe 4, Bromley 1, and as a result of that, Crewe have leapt up from 8th in the table all the way up to 2nd, albeit they're still 10 points behind Walsall, absolutely flying at the top of the league. Right, the rain is still absolutely hammering down at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0 in the Premier League. Let's go back there now. Should be about ready for the second half. John Murray.
Yeah, it's cold, it's wet, it's wintry. The rain is relentless. And Pat Nevin has actually pointed out, it's a great spot, Pat. The rain is pouring down through the new roof of the Anfield Road stand in several places. It is absolutely pouring down onto the people below.
It looks like a waterfall. It honestly looks like sitting under a waterfall.
It is not unlike the way that the rain comes through the roof at Old Trafford, strangely enough. So these are tough conditions for all of these spectators, 60,000 here, all warmly wrapped up and clapping their hands. You might have heard muffled claps as the players sprinted out onto the pitch. I don't see any changes at the break. So as you were, Liverpool with Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson. Then Gravenberch, Jones and McAllister, Salah, Diaz and Gakpo. So if you weren't listening in the first half, yes, a surprise early return for Konate to the starting lineup. And Manchester United, again without Marcus Rashford, not involved at all, absent ill, says Ruben Amorim. There's the whistle. Manchester United kick off the second half with the score 0-0 and play the ball back to their goalkeeper Anana. Then it's De Ligt, Maguire and Martinez, Mazraoui and Dalot in the wide areas, Ugarte and Menu in the middle, then Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandes and Rasmus Højlund, who had that big chance of the first half for Manchester United, but from the angle shot straight at Alisson, who made the save. Liverpool in the all-red kit with the white trim, attacking as they like to do in the second half towards the Kop end. Manchester United in the almost all-white change kit with those black and red bands across the chest. Liverpool with Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold, left-footed pass to Mo Salah, who holds off Martinez and then is able to find the pass back to Alexander-Arnold. Then Gravenberch gets involved. Mo Salah down in front of us. We can clearly see the number 11 on the back of his shirt. Now we can see the 38 of Gravenberch, who just drags the ball back and rolls a pass to Konate, who will actually turn it all the way back to Alisson. So Pat Nevin sitting alongside me, former Everton and Chelsea winger. What do you think in the second half? Manchester United, I guess, more of the same.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're right on the line of the back five that Manchester United have got. Now, it's very obviously set up. It's a 5-4-1 when they haven't got the ball. It's hard to break through. But they can't sit too far back, because that's what Liverpool expect them to do, and try and do that in front of the Kop. I know it sounds odd, it's just another goal and another stand, but it's different. In front of the Kop, the pressure you get put on by the fans that are behind there are incredible.
Van Dijk with one of those long passes of his, headed away by Mazraoui. Then Robertson's able to take it on. Robertson, though, his attempted cross was blocked by the recovering Mazraoui, and it's a corner for Liverpool. And strangely enough, similarly enough, for Liverpool, more of the same for them as well.
Yeah, they were okay. Maybe lift the tempo a little bit as the game goes on. The thing you can say about Liverpool, I don't want to say it too early, but a draw's not a terrible result for Liverpool. You know, if they were desperate for the win, which they really would like, but it's not a terrible result for them. So, you know, I expect them to increase the pressure and the pace, but we shall see if that happens.
It's a corner then in front of the Kop. McAllister to take this, raises his left arm. 4 Liverpool players grouped beyond the gaggle of Manchester United players in the 6-yard box. Referee Michael Oliver just has a quiet word, blows his whistle, and then another sharp blast shows that we're ready. McAllister, in it comes, only half punched away by Onana. It's still in the 6-yard box, only half cleared away. Salah with a chance, and then Ugarte, he was caught by Salah on his follow through after Salah got to it, but my goodness, Ugarte was going to make sure that everyone knew that he'd been touched by Salah, and he threw himself down. He hurled himself down and won the free kick.
And he was always going to win that there. A lot of pressure on the goalkeeper, there was no foul there, but the ball was bouncing, no one could get the end of it, and contractually obliged to use the Scottish word stramash.
Stramash. And if ever there was a day for a stramash, Pat, this is it. You just need Bill McLaren as ball played for. Comes off the head of Konate, and now into the area, Dalot, but the covering challenge was there from, almost needless to say, Van Dijk with Konate's header. I think he mistimed that. That sent Dalot through, but Konate's partner Van Dijk was there with the challenge.
A slightly lucky break that went to Dalot there. He had lots of space. Van Dijk had a lot of ground to cover up, but you've got to say, Van Dijk's timing to get in there was magnificent. He's shouting at the referee for something. I wonder what it is, Van Dijk. I wonder if he's injured himself slightly as he did that.
Was he caught by Dalot on the follow through? Possibly.
Possibly through. He's not happy at all. But great tackle by Van Dijk.
Corner then for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes takes it in, a little glance, headed away. It was deflected. It was Maguire who got his head to it, but not a clean header. Now Mazraoui curls one in. A diving Konate is able to head that away, and then cleared away by Alexander-Arnold. But groans from the home supporters. That's music to the ears of Ruben Amorim and the Manchester United fans to hear that inside Anfield, because it was given away. Now here's Nenu, but in comes Luis Diaz just outside the D. Nenu very nearly won it back for Manchester United, and then in the end it's McAllister who sends a long pass down, and Salah with a touch, very nearly touched it past Martinez, which would have been on a par with his touches against West Ham if that had come off. Just didn't work for Salah. But now Mazraoui is able to come forward for Manchester United, and he uses Amad Diallo, who slips over at the crucial moment and is mocked by the Liverpool fans, and he looks down at the turf. He looks down at the turf a little bit like a golfer who's missed a 3-footer.
Yeah, I mean, you feel sorry for him there. He just lost his foot just about to cross in. But don't ignore the fact that Van Dijk went over to take the ball away from him, and he had a terrible touch and it went straight out of play.
Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. The World Service are with us. This is 5 Live from the BBC on this wintry afternoon, this wintry evening now. I hope everyone's going to be okay getting home. I know there's still snow across large parts of the country. Here's De Ligt, 10 yards inside his own half, draws Gakpo forward and passes the ball to Mazraoui, who has to turn back and play it back into his own half. And Manchester United, who've not won here, I'll tell you how long it is since Manchester United last won at Anfield, because the winning goal scorer was Wayne Rooney. Here's Gallo now down the left-hand side. He's away from Alexander-Arnold. He gets the cross in, left-footed, but Van Dijk was there, allowed it to land on his forehead. And then he headed it to Gravenberch. But then Martinez wins it back for Manchester United on the edge of the area. Turns to his left, gives it to Bruno Fernandes. And now Liverpool have got everyone back. But Bruno Fernandes now finding a pass through to Martinez in the box on the left. Went for goal! He scored! High above Alisson, in off the underside of the crossbar. And what about this? We have Manchester United, struggling Manchester United, winning inside Anfield against Liverpool. What a finish that was! Liverpool 0, Manchester United 1.
If you're looking at the start of the second half, that's not a shock. They've played really well. They've broken really well. They've had a real belief about them in the second half. They got that again to the end of the first half, 0-0. But they broke really well. But what happened was, you got a break from the back from Martinez. No one knows who should mark him. He didn't seem to know how to place himself when he passed the ball wide. Then he just kept his run going. And that finish, honestly, there is not a striker in the league, and I'm talking Haaland and I'm talking Salah, who would be anything less than delighted with a finish like that. There wasn't a possibility of an offside. I have to say, I didn't see one in the build-up. If it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Martinez himself.
Well, Martinez was in an offside position, but then turned and wandered back. No, he was definitely onside.
I think he's onside. That was a problem.
They're still looking. There's a yellow card there for...
Might have been the celebration for Martinez.
It's Amagiallo who's shown the yellow card there. We'll check that. But what a finish. I mean, he rifled it high above Alisson. I think it clipped the underside of the crossbar as it flew in, it did. So Lisandro Martinez, that is only the second goal that he scored for Manchester United. And Liverpool, beaten just once in the previous 27 matches they've played under the management of Arne Slot, are 1-0 down here at Anfield. It was an Anfield defeat, remember, against Nottingham Forest, as Liverpool are howling for a free kick down in the Manchester United right back area. Gakpo feels that he was fouled, but referee Oliver says no, and it's a goal kick to Manchester United.
Not a gambling man myself, but someone who said either Martinez or Salah is going to score today, the first goal, because they're marking each other at various points in time. Many people in here would have went for Martinez. It's extraordinary, but the finish was amazing. He came from so deep, from a centre-back position, kept going, but he looked a little lost when he passed the ball, and he thought about going back. And then he had second thoughts and went, no, I'm going to keep on going. A lovely little ball through to him, and he is, as you say, he roofed it.
Yeah, that's that old footballing phrase, roofed it. Amagiallo it was who was yellow carded for whatever he did in the celebration. I think maybe even went too close to the supporters, I don't know. And there are actually lots of orange jacketed stewards down there as well in front of the Manchester United section who are all gathered together, so whether he caused supporters to surge down, I don't know.
It's weird that you're in towards your own fans. I noticed he did put the ball up his jumper as well, but that's perfectly allowable.
But Lisandro Martinez scoring the opening goal. Liverpool, who of the previous 27 matches under Arne Slot, the only one that they failed to score in was that defeat here against Nottingham Forest. As Kobbie Mainoo now tries to wriggle away through, and in come the challengers, Konate and Gravenberch together. Down he goes. That's a free kick. And this Manchester United team, this widely criticised Manchester United team, who've lost their last 4 matches, suddenly it's a different beast for the big game here as Dalot plays the ball across, and Højlund was getting to it against Konate, who defended it well actually. Bounces down for Nenu still going, ball across, Alisson has to go down, is able to block it, and then Konate turns it away out of the 6-yard box and out for a throw.
They're reeling. It's incredible. Right now, Liverpool are reeling. That confidence that the manager Amarin said the players didn't have, that belief in their ability to go and play football that they didn't have. Well, that was a nuclear option that he's went by saying that out loud. It's as if they've said, we'll show you, we've got that, we can do this, and we don't care where. They've had a really good start to the second half, Manchester United.
Corner then, after that, it actually went out for a corner. Bruno Fernandes plays it in, Alisson comes, gets a punch on that. It's headed away out of the penalty area, and Liverpool look to break now downfield, which they do. Red shirts pouring forward, Manchester United in front, and then the pass is overhit by a distance by Luis Diaz. He was looking for the run from Salah, who made that run, but Diaz couldn't get the pass right. In fact, he got it very badly wrong, and it's through for a goal kick. And already Michael Oliver is straight across, actually runs all the way to Onana to tell the Manchester United goalkeeper that unless he gets on with this goal kick, he's going to be booked.
I will be amazed if Onana's not booked by the end of this game, because if you've got, more than 30 minutes to go, he will try to kill every millisecond that he can, understandably so.
1-0 to Manchester United. That is the shock scoreline. And the reaction of some of the Liverpool supporters behind this, real anger at this turn of events. And that just tells you what this fixture means. For anyone listening on the World Service, it's raw, absolutely raw, in the raw, biting cold of Merseyside. And the celebrations from the Manchester United players after that ball flew into the net, I think it would be fair to call them wild celebrations, Pat. Look out for them on Match of the Day tonight.
They absolutely are, and understandable. So they weren't expecting these celebrations, most of those, but Arne Slot's not hanging about.
No, Diogo Jota and Darwin Nunez are being prepared. So those two are going to come on. That's the reaction from the Liverpool manager. Alexander-Arnold with this free kick. In it goes, headed away by Maguire. Bounces out towards the right-hand side. Ugarte volleys it to comparative safety. However, straight back from Gakpo. Now on the left-hand side, Liverpool. Oh, opportunity here. Oh, what a finish that is! Cody Gakpo! That is absolutely magnificent! He beat De Ligt. All ends up left side of the penalty area. Cut back and only had eyes for goal. Gakpo with the shot that flew past Onana to make it Liverpool 1, Manchester United 1.
Well, after a terrible attempt at a through ball beforehand, they managed to get it right this time, down the left-hand side. But Gakpo has so much to do. There was a possible pass inside, but it wasn't a certainty he could get there. I'm sure they will check for an offside, or a number of offsides, but we've got a line on it here. Wow, it is tight. I'm trying to see if Maguire in the middle is keeping Gakpo onside. It is incredibly close. This will take the lines. This will certainly take. I've had one look at it and I can't tell you. Absolutely can't tell you. But what I can tell you, it's an amazing finish. And Liverpool are about to make 2 changes there. Will they still make them?
Yes.
Might all depend on the VAR.
Yes, if you're listening to us and you're a bag of nerves, now might be a good time to go and put the kettle on, because this might take a little while. And the goal is given. The goal is confirmed. Cody Gakpo makes it Liverpool 1, Manchester United 1, and Manchester United had the lead, Pat, for only 7 minutes. And when I mentioned that the Liverpool celebrations, the Manchester United celebrations were wild, Liverpool's celebrations were as cool as can be. They were as cool as the weather. Gakpo barely a flicker of emotion as he just stood, having scored what must be one of the best goals of his Liverpool career.
Yeah, I mean, he was so calm. When everyone else was excitable there, he took the ball, he calmly turned back inside his full-back, and then again, he's put it into the roof of the net. What he did do, and what is very noticeable, he was calm and stood there, and then his teammates shouted, "Get back, we don't want to draw, we want to win." and then he moved quickly to get back and get this game started as quickly as possible.
Liverpool make the 2 changes then. Nevertheless, despite the fact that they've drawn level in the match, Luis Diaz and Curtis Jones are the 2 who are off, and Darwin Núñez and Jota are onto the field. Diogo Jota, who's pictured on the front of the match programme today. Salah down the right-hand side with the cross, but that's headed down and away by Harry Maguire. So Liverpool have indeed got in amongst the goals with their 46th Premier League goal of the season. Long one here for Højlund to chase, but that bounces out of play. And now this is Anfield. This is what you're hearing down the other end of your radio. This is what Manchester United are up against.
That's what they're up against, but this is a Manchester United team that don't like anything like the Manchester United team we've seen recently. There's a fight, there's a battle. They actually want to go and win this as well. They're not going to hang on.
So 1-1, and here is Dalot, who turns away from Alexander-Arnold, gets the ball into the near post, and Van Dijk had to be sharp there against Højlund, who went to ground, and Van Dijk just steered it behind for a Manchester United corner.
Dalot's been exceptional this second half. Absolutely brilliant, left-hand side. And he's not looking back. He's not saying, I'm going to leave Mo Salah, and I'm worried about it. He's just ignoring him. He's running off him, he's not being marked, finding himself in great positions, and he's put 2 or 3 brilliant balls in this second half.
Manchester United corner from the left-hand side. Delivery from Bruno Fernandes. Alisson comes and punches. A Manchester United player ended up on the ground there. It's headed by Martinez, but straight to Liverpool. Ball forward, that had to be cut out by Ugarte, it was. Then the ball had to be won by De Ligt, centre field for Manchester United, it was. Bruno Fernandes then had to keep it in, he did. Bruno Fernandes cutting infield from the left-hand side. Amad Diallo now receives it. Amad Diallo on his right foot on the edge of the D. He's got history with Liverpool. Plays it square though to Mazraoui. Mazraoui's crossing. Goal, Konate just got the top of his head to that to glance it away. And Manchester United were in there in numbers. It's a corner again to the visitors.
It's absolutely the case. Manchester United, they want to react. They want to win this game. There was parts of the game in the first half they were just surviving. They were playing 5 at the back. They've thrown that out now. When they attack now, they are getting such numbers forward. Both of those wing backs, Mazraoui and particularly Dalot, they are hammering up and down the line, and that is imperative if you're playing with this system, that those 2 players play well.
Manchester United corner. Bruno Fernandes again from the left, takes it short to Amad Diallo. The cross comes in from him. Højlund after it, but it got a touch from possibly Konate again, I think, for Liverpool. And then Diogo Jota is able to play it up to Darwin Núñez, fresh into the action. Darwin Núñez moves away from Dalot and then is impeded by De Ligt and brought down, and that is a yellow card for De Ligt and a free kick for Liverpool. And the other thing we have to mention again is the way that De Ligt was beaten delightfully by Gakpo for the equaliser.
It's kind of hard though, because you need to try and stop the cross coming in, because that's your number one in that sort of position. He was really close in, he was in the 18-yard line, so you have to slightly sell yourself.
Liverpool take the free kick short. McAllister now in, it comes from the left-hand side. Maguire jumping for it. Yeah, final touch was off the Manchester United head. Again, that was desperate defending. Behind it is for a corner for Liverpool now at the other end, and this is compelling action. This is dramatic Premier League thrills and spills here between 2 of the biggest names around. 1-1, and this one is going to be taken by Andy Robertson. Lines are open for 606, remember. I'll remind you of the number in a moment, but this will get the phone lines humming. Robertson takes this corner in. 2 Manchester United players went for it, comes out to Salah. Salah lifts it across the box all the way back out to Robertson here on the right. Left-footed ball in, that's headed up and away by Dalot. Robertson jumping with Bruno Fernandes, kept in by Trent Alexander-Arnold, who plays it back towards the halfway line, and Gravenberch. Liverpool, who are on a winning streak as opposed to Manchester United losing streak, but did end up drawing a couple of matches last month in the Premier League. The match against Fulham here when Robertson was sent off, and the 3-3 draw at Newcastle that you were at, Pat.
Yeah. And I think both those games Liverpool could still take a lot out of. They're scoring the 3 goals coming back. And also that 10-man, playing with 10 men here and still being the better team, they should have won that game. They drew 2-2.
They've made 2 changes. Manchester United still with the starting 11. Liverpool coming forward, and then McAllister trying a shot from outside the D that sailed away a quarter of the way up the cup.
Very un-Liverpool that. There's a fabulous overlap there. Arnold and Salah they had a 2-on-1 wide of him. That shot didn't ever seem to be on there, so I don't think Arne Slot will be delighted with McAllister there.
So 1-1 it is after Manchester United took a shock lead that had supporters all around Anfield gasping. Lisandro Martinez becoming the first Manchester United player to score here since Jesse Lingard in 2018. There's Maguire being put under pressure by Darwin Núñez, out for a throw. Liverpool take it quickly. Alexander-Arnold playing it to McAllister, and Pat Nevin was absolutely right. As soon as Gakpo had performed his cool celebration, then Liverpool were straight back to the halfway line. They want to win this. Now Alexander-Arnold onto his left foot, ball in, bounces down, shouts for handball. It was flicked onto the arm of De Ligt. It was from very close range. It took a little glance from the Liverpool player, struck the arm of De Ligt. The Liverpool players running towards, not all the way to Michael Oliver, and I think he's saying to them, yes, it'll be looked at. Now De Ligt's arm was not in a natural position. It was up above shoulder level, and the question is his proximity.
It's very hard to second guess referees. I would give that as a penalty every day of the week. I would give that as a penalty.
Michael Oliver has said the ball's out for a throw. Michael Oliver has said stop. He's going to go to the screen. He's going to the screen, and he set off to run, and then found Manchester United players blocking his path. So he stopped on his heels, and then said to them, just leave me alone. And De Ligt is following him, and De Ligt is saying, look, there's nothing I could do about that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Your hand's so high, it's above your head. My first inclination was that's a penalty, give it right away. And then watching a replay there, I would be stunned, particularly in front of the Kop, if they don't have a penalty here. They must get a penalty here. It should be. It is.
It's a penalty to Liverpool, and De Ligt shakes his head. But Manchester United are now looking to Andre Onana in front of the Kop. You know who is just making his way towards the penalty spot. The ball is actually being held by Gakpo, but Mo Salah is just walking towards it. Gakpo is going to guard the penalty spot while Manchester United continue speaking to referee Oliver. And Onana's actually trying to get the ball off Gakpo, and he's actually walking towards Salah, who's just very, very casually getting away from the whole scene of this, Mo Salah, and composing himself. And so Gakpo's back in possession of the ball. Onana, this has all happened behind Michael Oliver's back, because he was talking to Martinez and Bruno Fernandes, and now Onana is eventually taking his position on the goal line.
And Salah hasn't had his moment yet, has he? He always has a moment against Manchester United.
Yep, the man who has a Liverpool record 15 goals against Manchester United, the man who's scored 20 this season in all competitions, the man who is at the top of the list of Premier League goal scorers. This to give Liverpool the lead against Manchester United at Anfield in front of the Kop. From the penalty spot, Salah drives it low. Onana dives the right way down to his left, but it was pinpoint from the main man, and it's Liverpool 2, Manchester United 1, and the Premier League leaders have come from behind and are now in front.
Well, this season seems to have Liverpool written all over it, but if it's got anything else written all over it, it's got Mo Salah. He's not done a huge amount today. What is he doing now? He just kissed the ground, then rolled over, sat down, lay on his back. I mean, that's celebrations that you don't usually see from Mo Salah. He is loving every second of this. By the way, to go back to the penalty being given, anyone who's arguing against that, what is De Ligt's hand doing up above his head? There is no excuse or reason for it. 100% penalty kick, no argument.
So Liverpool 2, Manchester United 1, and those wild Manchester United celebrations are now stuck in their throats as Mo Salah buoyed by that goal from the penalty spot. That is his 6th penalty that he has scored this season. Remember the miss at that end in front of the Kop against Real Madrid, but he scores more than he misses. Here's Gravenberch now. Liverpool are going for a third goal that would probably finish it off. Now Alexander-Arnold on the right, but in slides Martinez and into the challenge, and the two of them slide together into those huge piles of snow that are stacked up against the advertising hoardings. And I'm just watching Trent Alexander-Arnold just to see if he's all right. He's still on his feet. He's slid into,
I think they bumped something there,
yeah, the board behind the snow, but he's okay. It's a goal kick. Super penalty, Pat.
Well, yes and no. Yeah, it's a good penalty. Hey, any penalty goes into a good penalty. He's hitting it with power. I don't think it's side netting. And if you asked Onana now, he'll tell you he thinks he was scored that. He saved that. I'm sure Onana could have got a hand to that at least. Maybe I've been harsh.
As you say, the net result is that it ended up in the net. Garnacho has been sent on by Ruben Amorim, who is now facing defeat in his first match.
It's a brave change, isn't it?
Yeah, Garnacho on for Menu.
Yeah. Really brave. You're down 2-1. It could all go very pear-shaped, which it has done recently. But Amorim's been ultra positive. What will happen is that Fernandes will move back into that more central midfield role alongside Ugarte. So, a little bit of creativity in that part of the field as well.
Oh, lovely turn from Jota away from two Manchester United men. I think he nutmegged one of them, but then there was a final line of defence as McAllister wins the ball back from Garnacho. Alexander-Arnold almost found the pass through. Watch out though, Salah's onto it. Salah away from Ugarte, and then Maguire dives in on the edge of the D, and it's a free kick. And a yellow card for Harry Maguire for that. Free kick for Liverpool.
I think he got the yellow card from me straight into the referee's face there. He was absolutely fuming. He doesn't believe he got any touch whatsoever on Mo Salah. But Mo Salah, he's just too quick. He waits for the tackle, flicks the ball away, and takes the hit slightly. Whether he gets a lot on him, I'm not too sure. And he actually feels as if he gets a bit of the ball. Anyway, the upshot of it is, if Mo Salah could put a free kick anywhere, I was going to say in this ground, I was going to say anywhere in this world, would it be anywhere other than exactly where it's sitting right now in front of that Kop, 22.5 yards out?
So, and this is red hot Mo Salah, who's now scored in 4 consecutive matches and in 11 of Liverpool's last 12 league games. And he has got the ball at his feet. It is just right of centre, a stride outside the D. So that's what Pat Nevin means in terms of the positioning of this.
It means he can go left, he can go right, curl it over, go to the far post. And also, don't forget, is it McAllister? I'm trying to see who's standing beside him there.
Alexander-Arnold. Just to make them think.
He's quite good at these as well.
But you'd have to think it would be Salah.
It's made for Salah. This is absolutely made for that Salah.
Mo Salah scored home and away against Manchester United last season, and now has scored home and away against Manchester United this season, and he's standing over this free kick. It's 2-1 to Liverpool. This free kick would put clear water between them and their old rivals. Salah comes up and strikes it over the wall, but over the top right corner as well, with Onana rooted to the spot.
Absolutely. Had that dipped enough there, the keeper wasn't even moving, hadn't even considered that. Good bit of bend there, gets it over the top of the wall. That's easy, but it's getting down the other side is the problem. I'm trying not to be personally upset and offended by the singing of the Liverpool fans just now. Not been very complimentary about Manchester United and indeed Everton.
No. Liverpool 2, Manchester United 1. I suspect it was something along the lines of down with the Everton.
Yes. I don't think that quite scans, but there's something like that.
Yeah. I did very much enjoy your great football songbook this morning. as Liverpool supporters enjoyed that tackle as well, as Liverpool win it back. Gakpo through the middle, and then Ugarte is able to put in the challenge. Liverpool are all over Manchester United now after Liverpool hit them with 2 goals in 11 minutes, the second of them that Salah penalty.
I was just saying at half-time when we were chatting about it, Liverpool have got gears, and you know, I expected them to go through the gears. They didn't go through them until they went 1-0 down, and boy, they've gone through them.
They really have, and they've shown what they are. The calibre of the leaders. Nunez is in on De Ligt there, and I think he had a look at him. I think he had a look at him before he led with his arm, which was down by his side, but nevertheless it was an arm into De Ligt, and VAR will I'm sure have a look at that. Michael Oliver's seen it. He's deemed it to be a yellow.
Yeah, they'll look at it. It's one of those ones where, to be honest, I think Nunez is staggeringly fortunate there.
That's not
horrible.
good.
That's absolutely horrible. Not looking at the ball, straight into the player who can't protect himself with his shoulder into his face. De Ligt, by the way, saved him there by getting up quicker.
Yeah, he did, and you know, he's had a horrible few minutes, De Ligt, having been beaten in the way that he was by Gakpo for the equaliser. Then, you know, it's unfortunate the way that he conceded the penalty, and then receiving that challenge, which could have really caused him problems. Lines are open for 606. Lots to talk about with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. 08085 909 693. Hashtag BBC 606. As I say, the lines will absolutely be buzzing with Liverpool Manchester United talk tonight. Don't miss that from round about 6:30. Manchester United, they're not finished yet, but this attack is, because they're in an offside position, so it's a free kick to Liverpool, and we're into the last 15 minutes. And just making reference, Pat, to the great football songbook, which is every Sunday morning on 5 Live, Colin Murray's programme, 10:30. It was Manchester United this morning, very entertaining. You can go back, listen to that, BBC Sounds, go into the 5 Live schedule, look for Colin Murray's programme, 10:30, and find it, and you will enjoy it.
I was very impressed by Colin Murray's ability to put his heart and soul into that one.
Yes, not his first love, Manchester United. Here's Gravenberch now, forward. Gravenberch gets it back. They're tottering here, Manchester United, and now Salah's running at them, and when you're tottering you don't want that, and he plays it through via a deflection which runs to Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the penalty area. And now Mazraoui, that's a nice move from him to take it on and away, and Mazraoui's pass is overhit. He was looking for the run of Garnacho, but it's ended up at the feet of Alisson.
It is a shame, but it was beautiful play before that. Again, talking about the fact, if you play a 3-4-2-1, it's the 2 wide players in the 4. They have to be extra special, and I do think Mazraoui's had a good game today, and he could have got that pass right. That his teammate would have been in 1-on-1 with the keeper. Just a shame that last piece of the play wasn't perfect.
Liverpool 2, Manchester United 1. And I must say, this is a match that's really warmed a freezing cold afternoon on Merseyside. Manchester United 1-0 up through that terrific goal from Martinez. Do look out for that on Match of the Day tonight after the news, or any time on the iPlayer. All of the details as well, today's football on the BBC Sport website, the football pages. But I think at that point, you know, my gut feeling was that Manchester United might get something out of this, but now it's hard to see it being anything other than a Liverpool win. But it's still in the balance. Here's Garnacho down the left side, low ball into the penalty area, a chance and a goal! Amad Diallo, left foot 10 yards out, steered it low past Alisson, and now Manchester United are back level. It's 2-2.
Well, you put the caveat in just in time there, John, because this game has been so good. It's went from side end to end. There's periods of time when Liverpool have been on top, and they really took control of the game there, but they've not really been able to knock Manchester United out, and the spirit has never really died from Manchester United. Even though they were under pressure, they were always wanting to go and fight and push this. Now we've only got about 10 minutes to go. I actually don't care what happens between now and the end of the game. Manchester United fans can see some hope. They can see a belief. There can be a spirit among this group of players that you just haven't seen for a long time. But well down this left-hand side. If they were going to get anything, it was going to come down this left-hand side. In the end, it was Garnacho who gets the ball. And I tell you what, Diallo is coming up with some important late goals now, isn't he?
He certainly is. He did it to Liverpool at Old Trafford in the FA Cup last season, and here he finds the back of the net at Anfield against Liverpool to make it 2-2. So this match has swung one way, now back the other, and here comes Gakpo down the left-hand side, back to 2-2 here at Anfield. Gakpo holding it up, then the ball to the back post. Salah got his head to it, but Dallow's able to jump and head it out of play for a Liverpool throw down the right. I have to confess, I'm not sure that I thought that Manchester United had another goal in them, but Garnacho, you know, he's another one who has had to be very patient under Arne Slot, coming on as a substitute yet again, Garnacho, for the 5th consecutive match, but he was the provider and Diallo the finisher.
Again, if he gets the cross, another break.
Liverpool give it away. Amad Diallo's got a long way to go from inside his own half. He passes it to Garnacho. Liverpool struggling to get back. Garnacho, and then Van Dijk is able to block the cross from the Argentine international. It's a corner to Manchester United.
They should have made more out of that, Manchester United. What a break they had. Problem I've got is when it was played out to Garnacho, it was Van Dijk that went and closed him down, and you just know with Van Dijk, he will get the angles right, and every player who walks up against him knows that as well. So getting a corner out of it in the end is probably as much as Garnacho should hope for, but the break itself should have created a shot on target.
I think it was Alexander-Arnold who gave it away initially, you know, halfway inside the Manchester United half. So it's a corner. The score is 2-2. Bruno Fernandes in with the corner. Alisson almost on the goal line, strong punch, headed back in by Amad Diallo, headed away for Liverpool towards the halfway line, where Salah is able to play a ball through the middle. Alexander-Arnold got a touch, Martinez was there as well. Now Lenny Yoro is going to be the next man to come on for Manchester United, and he's going to replace De Ligt as Bruno Fernandes is pulled back by Alexander-Arnold. That's going to be a yellow card, and a booking for the Liverpool right back. Free kick Manchester United. We've got 6 minutes to go, Pat.
Do you know, you watch Bruno Fernandes in that slightly deeper role, he's not what you expect there. But I tell you what, he seems to really suit it. The play's all ahead of him. He's got good skills. He's more involved in the ball. He's not got his back to the play when the ball's coming to him. I have to say, that may be a little bit of a find if you're playing a 3-4-3 and you actually put Bruno in there as one of the two, because he can create from back there.
So Lenny Yoro comes on to replace De Ligt, who's had a torrid second half, the Dutch international. And Lenny Yoro, it's only his 9th appearance for the 19-year-old. The Manchester derby was his only win in any of the matches that he's played in so far for Manchester United. Competitive matches for the first team. Free kick taken. Bruno Fernandes now curls it in, but beyond Maguire, and bounces through for a goal kick. So Liverpool 2, Manchester United 2. You'll want to talk on 606 tonight with an opinion about this. 08085 909 693 to join Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. And all this midweek we've got the cup matches, the commentary from the semi-finals on Tuesday and Wednesday night, then FA Cup commentaries from Thursday night onwards. Conor Bradley is going to make his return as the next Liverpool substitute. But here's Salah on the right-hand side as we move into the final minutes of this thrilling match. Salah plays it to the edge of the penalty area. Jota is there, twisting and turning. He's forced out into the full-back position by Bruno Fernandes. Jota gets the ball across to the edge of the area. Diallo's clearance hits a Liverpool player, bounces back to the edge of the box, where Ugarte is able to get it away. And Bruno Fernandes now to Garnacho. Garnacho up against Konate. He's got 4 Liverpool players around him, so goes back into his own half to Bruno Fernandes, who knocks it back into the centre of defence to Harry Maguire, who passes it to the newly arrived Yoro, and Yoro sees Amad Diallo available, who is also looking at Harry Maguire and then passes it to him. Now it's out to the right hand side. Mazraoui. Højlund has found himself some space 10 yards inside the Liverpool half, over there in front of the Sakani Dalglish stand, with those still the rain sweeping in front of all of those people who are sitting glued to the action here. There's more substitutions now with the ball out of play, and less than 5 minutes to go now. Conor Bradley is going to make his return for Liverpool after his 8-match spell out. Remember how he got injured against Real Madrid. And also coming on, Harvey Elliott into the Liverpool midfield. So coming off is going to be Cody Gakpo, who scored yet again. What an excellent goal that was. His 12th of the season, 6 in the Premier League, and now on a run of 10 goals in his last 15 appearances. But it was a super goal, Pat Nevin.
It was, and it's a delight to watch the Rolls Royce of a player. And you know, at that moment in time, he was so cool when he had to be cool. When Liverpool were under a lot of pressure, he didn't show any of that pressure whatsoever. Very, very impressive in that moment, and he's had a very good game today.
And Conor Bradley is on for Trent Alexander-Arnold, the much talked about Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he was applauded off the field. I mean, he left the field at the same time as Gakpo, and then Xerxes is going to come on as well for the exceptionally hard-working Højlund, who had a big chance in the first half, probably should have scored.
You know, he's one of those players you would just love to work with, Højlund, because he will always give you absolutely everything, no matter the situation. Again, there are certain weaknesses in his game, but he's young and he will get better. What a moment this would be for Xerxes, considering what he's been through recently. If he could have the deciding goal in this game, that would be a Hollywood ending.
Yeah, and it's I think you'd probably call it good coaching, wouldn't you, from Ruben Amorim, having substituted him in the first half of the Newcastle match to here, send him on at Anfield, although it's been lost by Manchester United, given away by Maguire, who's tackling back now. He's got to be careful, he's on a yellow card, and he put his hands on Nunez there, but the ball had already got away from Nunez. Now at the other end, Conor Bradley, Xerxes into this. Oh, he nearly slipped the ball through the legs of Bradley, and then in slides Harvey Elliott in the challenge with Garnacho, and it's out of play, and the ball's rattling around in the Manchester United
as is Conor Bradley rattling around in there.
I thought he was going to sit on the front row.
I think he was going to tackle about 3 of the players on the bench.
Anyway, he's okay, he's back on the field. 2.5 minutes of the 90 to go. What excellent entertainment this has been. All 4 goals in the second half. You know, it simmered nicely, didn't it, in the first half, but goodness me, it burst into life in the second period. Manchester United were 1-0 up, Liverpool then 2-1 up, and now back to 2-2 as Ugarte finds Garnacho back onto the chest of Ugarte. He did well to chest that down, actually. It was virtually on his Adam's apple when he chested it down, or throated it down. Garnacho now down the left, but Conor Bradley comes in. That's a proper right-back's challenge, that. And it's out for a corner.
Well, very noticeable. You've got Bradley on since Garnacho's come on there, causing trouble down that left-hand side. Well, causing a hell of a lot of trouble down that left side, creating the equalising goal, but he's got in there, and I'm not saying good old-fashioned left-back. He's a left-back who not only gets forward, but he loves to defend and tackle too.
Corner then for Manchester United. 2-2. Bruno Fernandes takes it to the corner of the box. Garnacho's in space. Back to Bruno Fernandes. Swells it. Oh, Alisson juggled it and scooped it wide of the near post. I thought for a moment there it was going to actually just trickle inside the post. In fact, he shoveled it round.
In these conditions, that's what he should be doing. Zipping it in. It's cold. You know, there's a lot of moisture on the pitch as well. Keeper's probably getting a little bit cold because they're not doing a lot of work as well. Good, intelligent thinking by Bruno Fernandes.
2-2. Another Manchester United corner. Bruno Fernandes, it's a deep one, Nate, and then it's volleyed across by Amad Diallo, blocked inside the penalty area, driven back across again. Xerxes went for it, couldn't get it on target. Diallo inside the box, Liverpool scramble it away. Now they're away on the counter-attack with Jota passing it forward to Salah. Ugarte says leave him to me, but Salah goes for the early pass. Nunez, excellent challenge, still in the area. Jota, right foot, saved by Onana, bounces out, still Liverpool. Bradley now driving forward into the full-back position. He's played it round one side of Fernandes. Oh, and then into the near post where Onana, so close to being beaten at his near post, but he got a hand to it to push it round the near post and behind for a corner. Thrills and spills.
Can we underline to the listeners, these are not added sounds from BBC. The oohs and the ahs are constant. The yelps all around the place. This has been a really, really good game, and it just got better and better and better as it's going on. Now I'm trying to see who's gone into it. Maybe Diallo's gone down, actually, because he's been down a couple of times already.
Yeah, Harry Maguire's had to change his shirt. Amad Diallo's got up. What about the tackle in the middle of all that from Yoro on Darwin Nunez?
Amazing. It had to be perfect. And it was perfect. Without that, it was a clean penalty kick again.
Oh yeah, it was. Yoro, he's earned his stripes there. The rain increases in intensity. Here's the corner. It's flicked on by McAllister and saved on the line by Onana. There were two Liverpool players going for it after the flick on. I think it was Van Dijk who got his head to it, but headed it down straight at the Manchester United goalkeeper. So it remains 2-2. Xerxes now as Manchester United come forward. We're into added time. 7 minutes of added time here at Anfield. Garnacho angles the pass now for Dalot. Dalot pulls it back. Half cleared by Konate. Garnacho with a shot. Hits Konate, who is on the ground. The ball skews away across the penalty area. Amad Diallo now back to Mazraoui. 7 minutes have just been announced here inside the stadium. You heard the reaction. Lenny Yoro, the man who made that challenge just now on Darwin Nunez. Ugarte, and then it comes off Mazraoui. So, well, Manchester United feel that the final touch is off Gravenberch, but it's given us a Liverpool throw.
Do you know, how much does this feel like a cup tie? Like a knockout cup tie? Both teams absolutely going for it. I wish it was a cup tie, because I'd take an extra 30 minutes here, which is saying something at -1 with freezing rain.
What about that chance though for Van Dijk? 3 yards, he was stretching for it, but could only head it down.
And really causing the keeper no problems at all, but you would expect him to score that.
Lovely turn from Gravenberch, now into Elliott, but Manchester United with two men there. Martinez is able to put in the challenge. Bruno Fernandes then passing it forward, and Garnacho is just going to allow it to run out for a throw.
I'm loving Bruno Fernandes in that slightly deeper role. Now, I know he's played it before, but it really seems to suit him. He was having very little effect in the game earlier on when he was one of the two behind the striker. Now he's more central. He's had a great effect, and look, he's not known as being a tackler, but he's fit enough to do that job. I really like him there.
Well, many of the recent matches between these two here at Anfield have been damp squibs. As I say, 4 0-0 draws in the last 9 here at Anfield between them, but this has exploded into drama in dramatic setting as well, with this cold rain blowing in and around the bowl of Anfield under the lights. 4 goals in the second half, could have been more, and it could have been anyone's. Xerxes getting up to head it out towards the right-hand side. Now well into added time. We're in the 3rd minute of the 7. Plenty of time to win this, and my goodness, that truly would be dramatic if someone was able to snatch it. Yoro to Ugarte, now Mazraoui, and then steered back it is by Amad Diallo. Garnacho wants it over here on the left. Yoro goes for a long pass. That is right to his feet, but he come back from an offside position. It's a free kick to Liverpool.
Wow, that's really disappointing for Manchester United. On the break there, Garnacho with a good ball, but he's just crept offside.
Elliott now down the right-hand side for Salah. People rising off their seats inside Anfield. Salah into the box, goes for the shot, which comes off the back of Maguire and bounces behind for another Liverpool corner. Lines open for 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Talk to them tonight, for goodness sake. 08085 909 693. Once we've wrapped everything up. See the highlights as well of this tonight, match of the day. Alan Shearer's on with Shea Given and Mark Chapman, but it's a corner now. Robertson takes 2 big strides back, then his delivery to the near post. Van Dijk flicks it on, cleared away by Amad Diallo at the back post, but there's no one forward for Manchester United, so Gravenberch is able to take possession of the ball and then begin to run forward with it and play a left-footed pass high to the edge of the box, where Dalot is winning it in the air from Robertson. Throw in. Elliott takes this to Bradley, 2 of the substitutes together. Elliott then back to McAllister, closer to the halfway line. Gravenberch. Konate and Van Dijk have stayed up after that latest set piece, even though Liverpool are in possession. Jota now is turning, and he's running directly towards the D. Still going, Jota with a shot, but then Harry Maguire threw himself in front of it. Classic Maguire there. That is right up his avenue. And now Alisson, as the ball ricocheted to the halfway line. Konate and Van Dijk have still stayed up, Pat. And there's a misplaced pass by Robertson. It's out for a throw.
You're talking about some of the damn squibs of games that we've had over the years, last few years. But look at the 2 managers. These 2 managers actually don't want to take a step back, do they? That's their attitude. And we're seeing it with Amorim now. he doesn't want his team to be a negative team. He wants them to be a positive attacking team. They've just not been capable of it yet. We've seen it today.
Yes. You will hear the live interviews, if we can, during the course of 606, so don't miss that. Otherwise, it'll all be reviewed for you in the Football Daily, on the Premier League review, which will be on the Football Daily feed on BBC Sounds tonight. Here is Robertson down in the left-back position, battling with Amad Diallo, and there's a little tug there, but Amad Diallo very shrewdly made it look more than it actually was and wins the free kick for Manchester United.
Do you know, it's clever by Diallo, but Andy Robertson shouldn't be doing that. Get close, don't give an easy free kick away. He's looking for that, you know that's what he's looking for, so don't give the referee a chance to give a free kick. And what is now, it's better than a corner. It's not far away from the corner, but it's better than a corner. It gives United a real chance.
We're in the final minute now of added time. The score is 2-2. The free kick is taken by Bruno Fernandes to the back post. Maguire heads it down, and it's cleared away by Van Dijk. It was deflected, it was blocked, and it bounced into the path of Van Dijk, who volleyed it downfield, but forward from Ugarte, and then the pass for Xerxes, right side of the area, square, Maguire over the bar. What a chance for Manchester United, what a chance for Maguire, 10 yards out, and he lifted it over the top, hands on his head.
Oh, incredible. I mean, Xerxes, to be fair, a natural centre forward goes for goal. I can promise you Alan Shearer will say tonight, he should have gone for goal, and he'd be right. But he gives it over, and Maguire should score, or at least get it on target. He's only 7 or 8 yards out. It's bobbling a bit, but what an opportunity.
The final whistle goes at Anfield. What a second half here on this freezing Sunday afternoon, with the rain sweeping in off the Irish Sea. What a treat they've served up for us in the second half. One or two players actually drop onto their backs. Garnacho is right down on the pitch. The Manchester United and Liverpool players go to one another. This is a game that is fitting of the great rivalry between these clubs. It's finished 2-2. Manchester United in front through Martinez. Then Liverpool turned it around with that excellent goal from Gakpo, the Salah penalty. But then Amad Diallo, the man who scored in the famous cup tie at Old Trafford last season, scored the goal that made it 2-2 and earned them a share of the points. So Liverpool have missed the chance, strictly speaking, to go 8 points clear, and it is 3 draws in their last 6 Premier League matches. But for Manchester United to get a draw here, coming into it at the low ebb that they were, 4 defeats in a row, a first point of 2025 for them, and I think they'd have to view it as a very good point.
Yeah, to be honest, I said beforehand that a point's not terrible for Liverpool, you know, but the way the league is just now, this is often a tough game, and it certainly was today. For Man United, it's a brilliant point, but better than that is the performance. That performance that you could stand toe-to-toe with a very good Liverpool side who are playing well, and played well today, and slug it out with them, and not look in any way deficient at all. You can tell most of the Kop's empty now, maybe half empty, the rest of the stands are empty. Look at the Man United fans, the reaction they've given over there. They want not only their team to do well, but they want this manager to do well. They are delighted, not delighted with the result, but they love that performance. They've been waiting for that for a long, long time. Here's the hard bit, do it every week now, because that's what you've got to do in the Premier League if you're going to be in any way challenging for just the European places. Really impressed with United today, really impressed with this game, and for once a Premier League game that isn't about 73 passes out from the goalkeeper. Actually, let's just go and play each other. It was a joy to see that.
I was just going to say to you, Pat, you know, how much fun was that? Despite the weather, but I think the weather had to make it.
I mean, there are negatives, but this is the Premier League at its best, right? Great players, great attitude, great stadium, great fans, everything, right? And then you look at some of the other games and they're anodyne because they're played at, oh, we have to do this out, let's pass out, and it's little games they're playing in little half blocks. They just dumped that today. I mean, went and had a go at each other. And what an absolute joy it was to watch. And by the way, well done. The supporters got what they deserved today. royally entertained.
I'm just wondering, our friend Peter Schmeichel down there, who's here for television, he's walked across with a sort of see-through topped umbrella, and he can't keep himself from going across to the Manchester United supporters. He's in big discussions with his countryman Hoyland at the moment, but there was a big hug between him and Harry Maguire. But what an afternoon! That was so enjoyable, really enjoyable. What a day! In these conditions, we had chills. They were multiplying, but so were the thrills. And it's finished Liverpool 2, Manchester United 2.
It was wild, that Pat, in all senses.
Yeah, you asked me a question about Liverpool at half-time, didn't you? And I said, they've got gears. We've seen them, didn't we? We've seen a lot of them. But boy, did we see United go through some gears which we were unaware that they had this season. It was an intriguing enough game in the first half. It didn't deserve to be a 0-0. It deserved to be better than that, without being a classic. But the second half, and it helps if, the away team scores and the underdog scores and everything's lit up. There was a period there of about maybe 82, 83, 84 onwards. See the oohs and ahs you were getting around here, it honestly sounded like a pantomime. It was hilarious. It was like, no, we're not adding sound effects. It really is this exciting every 20 seconds. And it was one end to another. Honestly, you can hear the grins from John and I through the radio, I'm absolutely sure. And you'll feel that from the supporters as well. I mean, the 606 should be great tonight because, who's unhappy and who's happy? A Man United fan who's unhappy tonight. I know you haven't beat Liverpool, but come on. That was a bit good.
Do you know, Pat, I almost wonder if, because watching when Xerxes squares to Maguire, in my head, I was thinking of the moment where Diallo at the death won the derby for Manchester United. But I actually wonder whether this game, whether Manchester United might get more out of this draw than they did the win at City, because there was something just kind of bizarre and crazy about the end to the Manchester derby. If they'd won this game, if Maguire had scored there, if Xerxes' pass had been better, I just still think that Manchester United, nobody would have looked at that and gone, oh wow, that's a bit crazy, if they'd listened to the game.
Annoyingly, I absolutely agree with you.
What do you mean annoyingly?
It's supposed to have an argument.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're spot on. Against Man City when they're not at their best, and also Manchester United didn't play brilliantly that day. But this is Liverpool playing very well in their own home ground, and they just logged it out, and they looked as good as. We talked when Xerxes came on, and I said this would be the stupidest of Hollywood endings if Xerxes, after what's happened to him, went and scored the winner at the death here. And it's so almost happened. And honestly, sometimes you'll read newspapers and they have to sum games up in 800 words. Yeah, right, good luck with this one, mate. You have no chance whatsoever. And even Match of the Day tonight, how would you get this into an edit of like 15 minutes? It is absolutely incredible how good it was. And I do hope these two managers, and I suspect Slot will, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ammann will, if he's given the time, they continue playing this way. They are not dull. They are front foot. They are. So I actually jumped out right at the start of the game. Liverpool had the kick-off right, and they played it back to the keeper, who launched it. I mean, you think about that. That's like unthinkable with quite a number of teams in the Premier League just now, because they want to take 73 touches out for the back. Very good. Can do a wee bit of entertaining in the middle of it as well now and again. And that, to be honest, from that first kick onwards, it just kept on improving.
And John, just to wrap it up, that 90 minutes is probably the perfect example of why almost every question I asked about Manchester United struggles before the game was caveated with, but anything can happen.
Well, exactly. And, they've showed over the years, these two teams, that, the team that at that time is the top team, are not necessarily the team that has the best of these matches, and that's the way it goes, isn't it, with derby matches across the board.
The big question has to be, and I'm sure everyone will think about it, I'm sure Ammann will talk about it, can you do it again and again and again and again? And I just don't know the answer to that, because all the build-up's here, all the excitement's here, and it's Anfield, all the pressure, everything was here. Right, go and do it down at Bournemouth, right, go and do it everywhere else now, because that's what you have to do if you're a Manchester United player who has to wear that shirt with the pride that should be worn.
Great stuff, both. Thank you very much indeed. Great commentary from John Murray and Pat Nevin. 2-2-2s in the Premier League. Fulham versus Ipswich and Liverpool versus Manchester United.